Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel and the Scouting for United series, where today we're doing something a little bit different. The plan today is to tell you 5 players which I think you should be watching this season, with potentially an eye for Manchester United signing them next summer. Now, some of these players you might have heard of before, a couple of them I've mentioned several times on the channel, but a couple of them may be a little bit unknown to you. We're going to address, though, 3 main positions which I think Erik ten Hag might look to kind of replace or bring some youthful energy into over the next 12 to 24 months. One of those positions will be the right centre-back position. I still think Raphael Varane's a very good footballer, but over time I think he might be replaced as he starts to age a little bit. Of course, also linked with a Saudi move. I think the right-back position could be addressed potentially as well in the next 2 years. And also the holding midfield position. Casemiro isn't exactly getting any younger. So let's have a look through 5 players which I will be watching this season. Now, of course, I'm going to be watching loads of different players. These aren't the only 5 options, but these are the 5 proper young options which could come into the team in the next couple of seasons. So before we continue into the video, a quick shout out to today's video sponsor, JerseyFifa.com, the home of all of the greatest football kits. Whether that be the new latest releases or the old classic ones like this, Jersey FIFA has something for everyone, and now you can check it out yourself using the link in the description down below. And also make sure to use code JerseyFifa for 10% off when you order. So we will start off with 20-year-old Spanish right-back Arnel Martinez. Now, I might have pronounced his name wrong there, but he currently plays for Girona in Spain, and he's a very, very good young defender. Recently impressed for the Spanish under-21 side at the European Championships. This is a really good young footballer, and importantly, a really good technician, A theme which you will see follows on with all of the players on this list. He's a top young player, excellent at receiving the ball in the first phase. He's very, very good on the turn receiving the ball under pressure. I would go as far as saying he is genuinely press resistant in the way in which he plays, able to absorb pressure deep in his own third before turning away. For Girona, what you will often see him doing is dropping deep alongside the centre-backs, trusting his ability on the ball, and the rest of the team do as well, regularly giving him the ball in some slightly tricky situations, but most of the time he's able to play his way out from danger and progress the ball from his side. In terms of progressing the ball and moving the ball forward up the pitch, we could see more from him in the final third. He does have a good delivery with his crosses into the box, but I would like to see it on a more regular basis. He has the technical ability to do so, he has the physical attributes to get himself up the pitch, he is pretty darn quick, but potentially we could just see it a little bit more in the final third, but perhaps that will come with confidence as he grows a little bit, kind of believes in his own ability even more. Perhaps we will see more attacking freedom in his game. In terms of from a defensive point of view, again, a very, very strong player. Good in 1-versus-1 situations where he has been tested in La Liga last season. For example, playing up against someone like Vinicius Jr., that's a test. A test which I think he actually dealt with pretty well. Of course, you're going to get beat once or twice when you're playing the top players at this age, but still, there is a lot to like about him. He's a good young defender, he's good in 1-versus-1 situations. On the ball, he's a real technician, able to receive the ball under pressure, turn and either carry or pass his way out from the back, and he has a little bit of something in the final third. Martinez is definitely a young defender which you should be watching this season, because United might be interested in a new right back in the next couple of years. If United are interested in a young right back, then why not go for Ivan Fresneda, the young Spanish defender, just 18 years old. Now, this is a top talent, a player which I have mentioned in the past on the channel. I said earlier in the summer that Arsenal should have signed him, and I still stand by that. Now, Fresneda, to be fair, is the player on the list that might move this summer. He might get his big move already before the season even properly gets going. Barcelona, again, should be interested. Arsenal should be interested. United should be interested. This is a top talent. He's got a very big frame, standing at roughly 6 foot tall, although different websites you look at give you different numbers, but very physically kind of capable of playing at the top level, professional men's football at just 18 years old. He's kind of fitted in pretty seamlessly. In terms of technical ability, he's got it in abundance. He is so good at receiving the ball in deep areas, and again, he is genuinely press resistant in the way that he plays and moves the ball out from the back. He's a top young technician on the ball, comfortable in pretty much any situation. He's very good at carrying the ball out from the back as well to progress the play into the middle third of the pitch, or he can pass his way out from the back as well, which we know is very, very important in the modern game. Something else which is important in the modern game is for your fullback to be versatile. Guess what? Fresneda can do that. He can play as a deep fullback which tucks into a back three. He can invert into midfield. He is very, very capable of doing that. Or he can overload and overlap down the right hand side, really bombing and pushing forward. He is capable of pretty much every different role that you ask for in the modern day fullback. Add on to that the fact that he is a very, very good defender. Probably the best young defensive fullback in terms of in this 18-year-old sort of region. He's very good. Again, if we use Vinicius Jr. as an example, I thought that Fresneda dealt with him very, very well in that game last season. And all round, he looks like a top young talent. He will definitely, and I mean definitely, move in the next 12 months. It could be in the next month or so. It genuinely could happen. If it doesn't happen in the next month though, watch out for him this season, because next summer he will definitely get his move. A top young player which United should definitely be looking at. Another top young player that United have to be watching is Antonio Silva, and for the first time we are leaving the Spanish league, heading over to Portugal, where the young 19-year-old Portuguese defender has really been applying his trade very, very well. Again, importantly, like every player on this list, Antonio Silva is a technician. Very, very good on the ball, and importantly, really composed playing his way out from the back. Now, he isn't someone who's necessarily always going to dribble his way out from the back, although, to be fair, he is capable of carrying the ball forward. He's more about his passing out from the back. He's a very composed character. He always feels like he's in control of the situation, playing his way out from the back, whether that be long passes out into a winger, medium range passes into the feet of a striker or a midfielder, or short passes into that first receiver. He is very, very good at just playing his way out from the back. He has pretty much every pass in his locker, but importantly, he kind of has a high percentage rate as well. So not only is he capable of playing expansive passes, he also completes them most of the time. Genuinely a very, very good player of the ball, very comfortable with the ball at his feet. But again, importantly, he's good defensively. And this is probably the best out-and-out defender on this list. And the reason for me, I think he's so good defensively, is because of his reading of the game. From a physical point of view, he doesn't actually stand out. He's not the quickest, and he's also not actually that good in the air considering his height, although hopefully that improves with age. It's his reading of the game, though, which is ahead of his years. He's got the head and the brain of a 35-year-old defender, but with the body of a 19-year-old. And that is a frightening combination for a young defender to have. If he can kind of remove errors from his game moving forward and improve a little bit in the air, this could be a player who, in a few years' time, could be regarded genuinely as one of the best centre-backs in the world. Again, because his reading of the game, his positioning, his stance, the way he stands side on and kind of gets himself and anticipates ready to deal with the attacker, is just genuinely top quality. His reading of the game is phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like it in a young defender before, so keep an eye on Antonio Silva. This isn't exactly an unknown player. He is top quality, spoken about all around Europe. He will get his move eventually, it's just where he goes. United, though, I'm sure will have him on the shortlist this season. Another player who will without doubt be on that shortlist is Usman Diamond, again in the Portuguese league. The Ivory Coast international is a top young defender. Whilst Antonio Silva may be all about his reading of the game, Usman Diamond is all about the physical side to the game. A complete athlete, really. Unbelievably strong, unbelievably quick. Again, he's someone who could do some work with his aerial ability, although again that tends to come with age in centre-backs. His physical side to his game is so good. He has the ability to be strong and aggressive on the front foot, nipping in to make tackles, crunching into opponents, or if needed, he has the recovery pace to play as more of a cover defender, sweeping up behind the last line and using his blistering pace. Add to that the fact that he is incredible on the ball, one of the most composed young players I have seen in terms of his press resistance. He wants to carry the ball out from the back, step into midfield, dribble past opponents, and then play the ball. On the ball, he's up there with the very best young defenders in Europe already. Now, in terms of experience, he doesn't have as much top-level experience as someone like Antonio Silva, which is why he isn't ready for the move just yet this summer. But by next year, if he can have a full year at Sporting, he could go for 80 million very easily, because he is such a good player. He, for me, in terms of the world of young centre-backs at the moment, is the one to really watch out for. I think he could be special. Antonio Silva as well, absolutely yes. Usman Diamond, keep an eye on him. Really keep an eye, pay close attention to him. I watch a lot of Sporting anyway, so I know a lot about him. Watch him. I don't know what else to say. Just make sure you watch him this season, because he could develop into a top-class centre-back. He's got all the attributes that are needed. He's got composure, good reading of the game, physical attributes which are absolutely brilliant. I think he'll make it to the top, so again, he will be on Manchester United's shortlist. Now moving into that midfield position where Casemiro, like I said, isn't getting any younger and eventually will need to be replaced. Perhaps Federico Redondo could be the man to do that. Son of the great Redondo, the holding midfielder who was so brilliant, Federico is no different. Genuinely incredible as a young holding midfielder. As a pivot player in the midfield, he is everything you want from the modern midfield player. Incredible spatial awareness, excellent scanning of the play to make sure that he is always in the right position and receiving the ball with the right body orientation. He is press resistant. He loves dropping into the first phase. In terms of, we talk about specialists in different positions, this is a first phase specialist. Unbelievably good at dropping deep, getting the ball on the turn, receiving under pressure, but moving away from danger, taking the ball forward and playing from there. In terms of his passing, again, very expansive with his passing, and he has every single pass in his locker. And I think, as he matures and develops, I think he will become metronomic in possession, someone which you really go through. We're talking kind of Sergio Busquets-esque here. That's the sort of player we're talking about. He is absolutely brilliant with his passing, his vision is unbelievable, but importantly, it's that composure on the ball, that belief in his own technical ability to draw pressure and then beat a man before playing the ball forward. It genuinely is top draw. If you then add to the fact that he is brilliant defensively. He's got the work rate, he's got that long stride length allowing him to cover a lot of ground. He's an excellent runner in the middle of the park, but also those long legs are brilliant for tackling and intercepting the play, breaking up opposition attacks. So you know, that's clearly a pretty good combination. Excellent on the ball, everything you could want from the modern day number 6, but also really good athletically off the ball and has brilliant reading of the play. Keep an eye on Federico Redondo. Top young player who, again, I am confident will move for a lot of money. So that kind of brings us to the end of this video. Those are the 5 players, in my opinion, which you need to keep a close eye on this season. Now, of course, like I said, there's so many others. There are so many other players to watch around Europe, and as always, I will be bringing you content on as many different players as possible. But in terms of 5 youngsters who I think could really address key areas in the current United squad where perhaps there is currently something lacking, these are the 5 players which I'm really watching very, very closely. Let me know which players you're watching though in the comments down below. Let me know which of these players you have watched before or are definitely going to watch moving forward. All of that, let me know what you think. But apart from that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.